Hi, this is Dr. Muzakir Ahmad Khan. I welcome you all for this session, and I also welcome you for the PTE Tube. And today I'm back again with a topic on amount of time required for PTE exam preparation. I see a lot of videos on social media and on YouTube as well. That certain number of days is all enough to get desired score, that is higher points in PTE examination. So with regards to this, we'll have a detailed discussion. So I request you all to stay tuned and watch this video till the end so that you get to know the background and the reality of the amount of time that is required. Yeah, I also request you all to subscribe our channel, and I thank those people who have already subscribed to this. Yeah, before I actually get into discussing with regards to time, I would like to give a brief introduction to the PT exam itself. PT academic exam that is held, and it is completely online computer based exam, and it is held for about 3 hours long. Typically people go through this and finish this exam within 2 hours 40 minutes to 2 hour 50 minutes. That is all is enough, and it includes 4 modules, and those are speaking, writing, reading, and listening. All of these modules, unlike IELTS, here these modules are integrated, in the sense we get marks in an integrated manner, not individually. Yeah, here I leave you a certain number of steps that are required for us to fulfill and go through in order to sit or take the PTE test. Since this is not related to topic, I will not discuss these in detail. You can pause and go through these steps. We'll move on. We'll see what this PTE exam is. It is typically a proficiency exam based upon our performance. We get declared as our English is functional, vocational, competent English, proficient English, or it is superior English. So how we perform on the day of examination, on its basis, we get marks and points for this kind of English. And at the end of the day, this test is English exam. In the sense, this judges as what level my English is. Okay, so this is an English test. Here we are supposed to learn the things that are required to fulfill and pass this exam, that is English things, which typically are grammar, spelling, and fluency. I say that these three are the three main factors which decides our score, and say as what proficiency we are in, whether we are in functional, vocational, competent, proficient, or our English is superior. So according to me, based on my experience, this decision of these parameters depends on grammar, spelling, and fluency. So now coming to actual topic, since we are appearing for English exam, we are supposed to get prepared, master ourselves on certain things. Okay, and now sorry for mentioning that 10 days is required for, or 10 days is enough for getting 79 plus, as mentioned in the previous screen. In fact, the amount of time that is required for preparation of PT exam depends on person to person. Yes, it varies from person to person, because we all have come from various backgrounds. Okay, and our mode of study or study syllabus that we have gone through in our schooling varies from place to place. So deciding or making a statement that this amount of time is all enough for cracking this PT examination is completely false. Okay, but for sure, if you are serious enough and if you want to have certain amount of points to in order to clear this exam, if you have the determination, then 2 months of time typically, based upon my experience and what I've seen and experienced on my students, I can say that typically 2 months of dedicated time is required in order to master various things that are involved in this exam and clear this exam. Yeah, I would say, before this, I would go to previous slide. I see many people on YouTube and social media. They say that, this limited amount of time is all enough. If you follow this, you will clearly pass this examination. So listening that even I have committed mistake, and many of my students too have committed, and many of you who are watching me may also have gone through this, that just by listening that and assuming our English is good enough and we can take the exam, we pay over the hefty amount that is about 13,000 in Indian rupees and 300 plus dollars and appear for exam, and eventually we fail in it, isn't it? It might have happened with many of them. So I would say that motivation is and inspiration is absolutely required for us to clear this exam, but not these kind of inspirations which will waste our time and money. I would like to correlate PTE exam with this truck and this person as a exam candidate. Okay, before that, let us read this. When you listen too much from motivational speakers, this what happens. Okay, can you think that is it possible for this person to tow this vehicle with this particular tool? No, not enough. Yeah, the same person can tow the vehicle, tow this truck by using a kind of another tool, isn't it? The tool at this moment is bicycle what he is using. So for sure, by using this tool he cannot tow this truck. Instead, what is he supposed to do? He has to master himself and make use of some tools and methodologies and tips and tricks. So in this case, if he make use of some mechanical stuff which can uh, which have higher torque or which can tow this, then he can easily take away this truck from this particular place, isn't it? So I would say that our situation is this. We just watch some video on the YouTube and we assume that our English is all enough to crack this exam, we appear, and finally we see unfortunate results which we don't like, and it is complete waste of our efforts, our time, our money. Above that, the frustration that builds up and that oozes out, it's horrible. So better not. Motivation is required, but not such kind of motivation. So I would really not recommend. And now I would like to definitely mention here that why preparation time is required at all. Is it necessary, or my level of English is that all enough for me to appear for exam and clear it? No, certain amount of time is for sure required, and we need to invest our time. And there is a common very famous proverb that time is money, isn't it? So we have to invest our time instead of spending our money on registering for PT and eventually failing in it. So investing our time is a very important tool in order to clear this exam. Yeah, like all other exam, you for that matter, you take any competitive exam around the globe, all competitive exams can be cleared with only tips and tricks and methodologies plus the foundation, that is the basic foundation of that particular exam. Or in this case English, if you have good English plus methodologies and tips and tricks, only then we'll be able to clear this exam. Because there is one very important constant that we have to go through in this exam, that is time. Time is a constant. If enough time is given to any person who has average English, he can solve reorder paragraph. If enough amount of time is given to him, he can work out and he can frame the sentences, he can form the pace. But time is the constant. If enough amount of time is given, we can fill up the blanks. If enough amount of time is given, we can describe the image more effectively, isn't it? But time is the constant over here. To deal with this, we are supposed to go through or learn some tips and tricks and methodologies along with the sound foundation of English language. Okay, so now just learning tips and tricks and methodologies alone will not get us through this examination. Okay, we have to make use of these tips and tricks and methodologies, or whatever you call, with enough amount of practice along with our foundation strong English. If we spare enough amount of time on it, only then our performance increases. Okay, so either way it doesn't work. I just focus on tips and tricks and methodologies, I'm trying to clear this exam, that doesn't work. And if my English is all good, and if I just try clearing the exam with the English that I know, even in that case we cannot crack this exam. Okay, because unlike IELTS, it is all integrated. Yes, it has few loopholes, which we have experienced. Through our experience we can feel it. Okay, because this, for this examination, people around the globe appear, so even PT people cannot do that. In order to crack that, we have to have a hold of those tips and tricks and methodologies, and we need to consider our peak points. We need to analyze, and we need to check, find out our weak points and work on those, implement parallelly tips and tricks. Then definitely that requires certain amount of time. And if you just imagine and assume that a weeks of time or 15 days or 10 days of time is all enough, that's not possible. We have to get adapted to that environment, so it takes time. Okay, so time is very important parameter. Be serious and invest enough amount of time. Self analyze yourself, see where you stand, then appear for examination. Just don't watch some motivational videos which are not useful for us and appear for exam waste, and don't waste your time and money, everything. Okay, and that's what I have to say for today with regards to the amount of time required. And these are the things: grammar, spelling, these are the foundation of English for this particular exam, plus relevant tips, tricks and methodologies. If we correlate these two things, then we'll be able to clear this exam. Probably, as I have mentioned, you will have to invest 2 months of time with proper guidance. Only then it is possible. Thus, to improve these skills, and we will have to practice them over and over again. Only then we'll be able to succeed. So practice in the amount of time is the key in order to clear this exam. Yeah, there's one good news with regards to NATI CCL exam. You all are, I believe that you all are aware of this exam. And I have experience in my through my students, that these students staying out of Western countries, especially Australia, they stay out of Australia, and their salary is in local currency, that is in Indian rupees or Pakistani rupees or Bangladesh, whatever currency they have or whatever it is. So the amount of fees that is being charged by these NATI people back in Australia is very hefty, which Desi people, they find it difficult to afford. Okay, so what I've planned is for Desi people, I'm gonna start NATI CCL Institute at Desi price. There is a good news. Very shortly, I'll be launching it, and anybody who want to collaborate with regards to this with me, they can just drop me a mail or message. That's it for today. And those who haven't subscribed my channel yet, please do so. That will be I would really appreciate that. That will motivate us to bring up some realistic videos every day, and I'll be very thankful to you for doing that. And lastly, I would also mention that we do provide coaching, real-time coaching. We give enough time, and typically our coaching will be for 3 months, and it is completely online. And we do also provide offline if you require. And we are based in Bangalore, India. By now, for online purpose, you can just go through this, and anybody is interested, they can get back to us on the below mentioned contacts. And that's it for today. Thank you. Be wise, prepare yourself, give your time when you feel that you are ready to give. Just don't be very eager and enthused and just give the exam and waste your time and money. At the end of the day, frustration oozes out. That is all a negative thing which we don't want to happen, and nobody wants to happen. So be wise. That may happen. A person can clear an exam in 7 days or something. That is possible. That is exceptional case, but in generally that doesn't happen. So be realistic. All the best. Thank you for watching. Bye. Take care.